Yeah, well, I don't even call it as, I mean, it's like things I do. It's not even with, it's not even business, necessarily business oriented
Yeah.
necessarily. Yeah, I do network online, but I do it kind, if I would say, natural way, in sense like I read a lot, not only books, but I saw online blogs and people writing intelligent stuff about a subject that I'm curious about. And sometimes I bump into people writing very intelligent stuff about this stuff, and that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And basically, I try to find their email, and I send them an email first off to say them that I love what they wrote, and I thank them for the work they put online. And time to time it engage into conversation about the subject, and that's how I meet new people in various fields, because I do that of course for also the business aspect, but I do that also for history aspect. I'm very interested in the history of all around the world, and including several thousands of years before us. And sometimes I engage with people. And for example, one time I bump into someone who's a high-ranking military official in France. He had an anonymous blog about a specific area of France, and I was like, "Whoa, this thing is very deep." And I mean, the guy is probably some history professor of some sort, or retired. And then we start to talk via email. And at some point, he told me like he was like a nuclear submarine commander, and he showed me like a news press about it, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
And that was really interesting, because the guy was really smart, really knowledgeable, and that was really a real pleasure to exchange with these people. And sometimes this kind of informal bump into each other connection, they leads to potential opportunities to work together, either as partner or just as a client-supplier relationship. And most of the thing I've done in my life, I mean, if I can say achieved, especially professionally, are random bumps into these people, that the way I describe it. And yeah, it leads to the opportunity. Some of them leads to partnership that lasted for several years, and I make a lot of money in between. Most of them at the same time leads to nowhere besides just having a cool chat. We never know. That's the thing, that we never know, like the kind of, especially when you're not in the life of others, like you never know it's going to be like just a nice talk, or if it's going to be something that leads to business later. Because this kind of people I'm attracted with, that looks like a bit like me, they do have a lot of network themselves. And sometimes the guy I bump into them, then they talk to me about someone else, and then I do business with these other people. And the story when you say with Oksana, like I was talking with her on her group, and then she was the one referring to you, say that you should check the blog of this guy, and maybe you will fit together. And that's kind of the story of my life. And sometimes it leads to even better stuff.
Well, that's wonderful. And talking about blogs, you've seen my blog I have on medium.com.
Yes.
I wish to grow that project even further. And I wanted to ask, what sort of content would you like to see on that blog in the future? And where do you think that blog might fit in with the existing content that's already available to people who are interested in value investing and related topics?
I think in your case, well, first off, usually start asking the question what the customers want is usually a very good idea to start with that. That being said, in your context and the kind of people you're talking to, I mean, I assume that I am one of the kind of people you want to talk to. I think that what probably would have a bigger impact is to write about the things that makes you super enthusiastic, things that you actually enjoy a lot, and exploring ideas that you really enjoy, and you discover like, hey guys, I just found that, and I thought it might be useful to do this or this. And that I guess would be the way to write the most exciting content for at least audience like me, instead of me saying you should write about this or this topic. Because and especially if you're like, well, we are both Charlie Munger's huge fans. We love his philosophy. We love his lattice work of knowledge. So for the people who don't know a lot about Charlie Munger, it's all about interdisciplinary and connecting knowledge about different disciplines, and especially mental models, how to potentially apply them in a bigger area of life, and especially in investment. So this kind of, the people who likes that are more like kind of polymath people, attracted to a lot of variety of subject. So that's why I say I don't think there is one subject that would make a lot of sense specifically for you, but more like follow your intuition, follow that what you love the most. And that's also why my own website, I'm talking about various subjects. I have investing, psychology. Here soon I will also have books about history. And when you look about I don't know if I was thinking about the Lilu. So you probably well know Lilu, the investor in China, who is and
I don't know him. I don't know him like very very closely. I don't follow him especially, but I know who he is. It's just I haven't read his biography yet.
Yeah, so for the one who discovered Lilu, he's a guy that invests in China in the same way as it's the Chinese Warren Buffett in a way, if I can say. And just as a reference, he's the guy that one of the only money manager that Charlie Munger himself trusts to invest in China. And that's what he was saying. So, and what I was talking about him is because of he has a reading list online, and he put online the books he likes, and there is probably, I guess, 500 or 300 items in it. And if you look at it, of course, there is business books at some point, but there is a lot of books that are completely unrelated to directly to investment field. I see like Iliad and Odyssey from Homer, and a book from Greece antiquities, a meditation for Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and just to say at which point we go in every direction and connect all of that to make something useful out of it. And therefore, for your website, as much as mine, we go in all direction that fits relative to what we want to do. And then people pick the part they like the most, I guess. So that would be my advice about what you should write in your website.
Well, I think I hit it. I think you described it pretty well. It's just the thing like the thought I'm approaching the value investing scene and the blog and creation of content is with the quote by Epictetus, who says that learning that doesn't lead to action is useless. So that will be like my criticism of other blogs in this area, because I have read a lot of very interesting and wise blogs and books, and after finishing them, I had no idea how to apply them. Right. So it's one thing to read these very influential and wise books like Iliad, as you know, as you described, and so on. But I'm also missing the part where you understand how to use this in your life. So this is what I want to emphasize, and this is what I think is in my view missing very often, because you can find very wise, wonderful books that tell you be cautious about risk or consider diversification and so on. And I'm thinking like, this isn't information I can use. This is just something that's nice to read, and you feel enlightened while you're reading it. But when you finish that book, you think, wow, I'm not really any smarter than I was before. And this is, to me, it's very similar to when people watch self-help motivational videos online. So while you're viewing it, while you're consuming that content, you sort of feel good about yourself. And at the very end, when it ends after 2 hours, you think, wow, yeah, that was a nice presentation, but it didn't really move me anywhere in my life. And I don't know how to apply these things in my life in other ways that I'm already doing. So
I guess
this is it. Yeah.
I guess it's the very definition of the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge, you can know something, but data points, for example, but wisdom is how to interconnect and use this data to make something useful out of it. And yes, and the thing is, I guess that to be able to build wisdom based on knowledge and facts, you have to have a purpose, because you can read Omer because you are a literate interested in literature or writing, or you can read it as an investor perspective with totally different needs and the use of it. And therefore, that's why you cannot have just one, for example, website that would say how to use Omer, but you have to have a specific goal and in which context you want to use it and to do what. With that, I guess that's you can have your answer, and you can put online how to interpret and how to use all the various books. And that's why, for example, in my own website, I have a page that is specifically explaining in which view, in which direction I want to use this knowledge about how to build lifestyle businesses and how to make investments. And I will only read all the books through that prism, through that lens. And I think that's a kind of a fundamental article in my website, and that's probably it's the equivalent of a manifesto. You state before even going into any other article, you state, this is what I want to do, and this is why I'm going to read these books, and this is what I want to extract from these books. And that's why, for example, my website resonates with you, because the way I'm reading it is meaningful towards the kind of stuff you want to do. And I guess that might be something on the logic you want to maybe reproduce on your own website.
Definitely. It's like when I was reading the reviews on your website, I thought this is like so much better than digging through Amazon reviews of books, right? Because after I read one review made by you, I know exactly if I want to buy this or not, and I would be in many cases inclined to pay much more for the same book than its market price. So I think this is just wonderful, like the way you sum it up, and it's definitely because of this, because you view the books as things that you should put to use. It's material that calls you to action. That's what it is. It's not a summary you read on the beach to pass time. It's something that you use. It's like a building block for what you want to do later. And I feel that your reviews emphasize that, and that's why I enjoy them. So definitely, that's. I think we agree with each other on this one pretty well. It's again the quote by Ludwig Wittgenstein: "To understand is to know what to do." Right?
Absolutely. You have to decide in which direction you want to help your reader. Me, I want to help my readers to be better lifestyle entrepreneur and better investors. And this is kind of a foundational statement. I start with that, and based on that, everything I'm going to read and everything I'm going to say will be through that lens. And everyone who starts, I would say, a website, a blog, or whatever, should at least have a clear sentence of what they want to do, the mission statement in a way. You state your mission, and then everyone knows very well quickly if it fits or not with what they want to do. And everything, if you fit, everything you're going to read on the website, you would be very interested in it. And that's the best way to attract the right people for your website and have how can I say, an audience that probably will stick over time as long as you do it.
Right. Well, that would be all for all questions I had for you. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. As I suggested, we can also have other interviews later when we want to dig into more specific subject. I think this one is a very good starter to discover who they are and what we are doing. And then people who look at that, they might be like either interested or not interested. The one who are interested, they might continue and jump into others interview we might do in the future about other subjects. So I think that's quick and short like that. I think it's good to start with this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a good beginning. We met online. It's not possible in person right now because I have heard that you went to Estonia from France originally. So I guess that would just be the last closing remark. Why are you currently in Estonia, or for how long are you planning to stay?
But I'm going to be living in Zurich by the end of this year. It's kind of we're looking for places and stuff. So yeah, I will be closer. You're in Prague right now, right?